Thank you, Canada. Thank you very much. It's a very, very generous introduction. I appreciate it. Wow. Thank you for coming. I feel really honored to be selected to be one of your speakers of this week. I know it's very tough outside there, the weather, and that's why you see me in this clothes too. My back, was coming yesterday, and my back was delayed, and hopefully we'll get to meet today. So for those who may be wondering why you're wearing jeans, so it's because of that. That's the clothes I have. I can't really find a better word to appreciate your leaders who make a decision that I should be selected to come here to talk to you. And what I'm going to share with you today is what I call a living testimony. It's about my life. It's a story of leadership, how I became to where I am today. But before I became to where I am today, or who I am today, I went through things that were very difficult that I would like to walk you through. I'd like to talk to you about my life story. Maybe some of you know that where I came from. You know that from my accents. I was not born in the United States. I came to America 13 years ago from a country known today as the Republic of South Sudan. And before it became Republic of South Sudan, it used to be one Sudan. Sudan is known for three things. It used to be the largest country in Africa. You can fit 3 Texas and a half inside Sudan. That's how big it was before it split into 2. The second thing about my country, Sudan is being divided into 2 by longest river running from southern part of Sudan all the way to Egypt. River Nile, we went through it. The third thing about Sudan, it's a country that being known by civil wars. People have been fighting each other since 1700, the 1800, and of course as recently as 2000. Those wars that being fought in my country forced people like me and others to run away from the country. The war that started in 1983 when I was about 7 or 8, it was fought because of all of the above. It was about religion. Because the people in the north are Muslim, they identify themselves Arab. Whereas the people from the south, where I came from, identify themselves as African, and they are Christians. About 98% all Christians. So you can see that these wars were fought because of religion, economic, color of your skin, and tribals, and all of the above. And so it uproots the life of people of South Sudan, and of course the North as well. Before the war came to my village, we were okay, taking care of my father's cows. There was no schools, no clinics, but we were very happy. We called that country as a country that filled with milk and honey. It was just nice. My mother, my father, and other adults attending weddings, ceremonies, we were very happy. Until 1987, when I was 12 years old. This is when my village was attacked. And it was attacked by the government troop. My brothers and I, we were sleeping in our own little hut. The whistling of bullets, the bombardments of bombs being thrown here and there, ripped through my village. My mother was calling outside, meet Bakabe. That's a Dinka statement saying, children, come out. As we got out of that house, I saw somebody running across my home compound that I thought was my dad. So I was running after this man for a few yards. Later, it dodged into the grass. And when I was coming by him, he grabbed my right arm and pulled me into the grass. All of a sudden, a long line of troops coming shooting, killing anybody they could find, burning down our houses, looting our cows, abducting girls to be taken to northern Sudan to become their concubines, raping women. It was a total destruction. And that's why I said it was as if God got tired of us. Through that night, the guy that I thought was my father turned out to be my neighbor. His name Abraham Dengniop. I was with him. We were attacked from the west. We were running toward east. 3 days later, we ran into a group of a woman and her 2 daughters. We became 5. As we're moving back, we're moving away from my village toward a country called Ethiopia. It took us about 3 months to get there. There was nothing to eat. We live on wild fruits like birds, chewing grass like cow. At night, very cold, I pray to the Lord, God, please, daytime is a little bit warmer. Sometimes we sleep in the forest to avoid being detected by militia or government troop, or being detected by wild animal at that time. Where we could find water, at night when you're sleeping, it is very clear and quiet. You can hear frogs are making noise here and there, and then you get up and tie grass together so that tomorrow morning you know the direction where the frogs were making noise. You can go and find water. Another way to find water was to, if you see birds circling around, either there's water there or something is dead there. Being attacked by wild animals such as hyenas, lions, killing some of the boys. As we're pushing some of the boys, we run into some of the boys who became 19, later we were 26. By the time, before about some week to get into Ethiopia, we came at between a place called Pibor and Pochala. There was no water. We went for almost 2 days with no water. It was desperation. People are crying. You don't want to go. We try so many things to try to quench your thirst. Start drinking human urine so that you can stay alive. Didn't work out either. Now, we were on our own. You decided to stay there, you die there. By the time we find good water, we were only 4. That means we lost 23 boys. So we arrive into Ethiopia. We stay in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian government and some adults who were there, they put us into group of 50. Group of 50 as a family. They picked me to become one of the leader of one group, 50 people. Later, they put some of the boys into my group. We became 1,200 boys. Their age were from age 5 to age 15. So these boys are crying every day. They want to see their mothers. They want to drink milk. They want to eat food. There is nothing I and other older boys could do. We just lied to them that today is bad, tomorrow will be better. That's how we live. Diseases such as cholera, typhoid, whooping cough, measles, chickenpox, killing boys every single day. In my own group, about 2 or 3 boys die every day. We could take the bodies of our brothers so that we can give them dignity, bury their bodies somewhere. We come back the following day, we could find the bodies of those we buried the previous day eaten by wild animal at night, such as hyenas. That was a very graphic part of our life story. But we kept going. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, known as UNHCR, heard about us, the World Food Program. They start bringing food, distributing food, enough food. Then later they brought some clothes, secondhand clothes. And we were given, if you are given a bottom, maybe somebody will take a top. So at least you could wear something. Then later they start distributing quilt, the blankets that has many layers in it. So you rip one part of the quilt so you can sew it as your underwear or your shirt, something like that. That was the situation. We stayed there for 4 years. There were more food. There were more help come from the United Nations. All of a sudden, the government of Ethiopia, which was good to us, was overthrown by Ethiopian rebel based in northern Sudan. And so the new government, actually, which is the current government today, didn't like us there. They said that we should go back. They gave us 7 days to move back to South Sudan. As we're moving back to South Sudan, the number of the lost girls and the lost boys and adults, we were 27,000. As we're moving back to South Sudan on barefoot, there were no buses, there were no vehicles, nothing. So as we're trekking back into South Sudan, but before we enter back into South Sudan, we stop at a place called Gilo. Gilo is a river infested with a lot of crocodiles. If you have been watching National Geographic channels when the animal cross rivers and the crocodiles grab them, that's what was about to happen to us. We decided to try to find a way because some of the boys did not know how to swim. So tie a rope to one side of a river to a tree and have somebody swim to the other side to tie the other end. So that for those who do not know how to swim can slide over, can help cross the river. All of a sudden, the government of Ethiopia, which I didn't know what they were thinking, sent troops after us and start shooting, killing some of the boys. Some drowned, others lost, others eaten by crocodiles. Myself and others, we crossed the river, went on the other side. We went to a place called Pochala, controlled by Sudan People Liberation Army. That is the Southern Sudanese resistance group that is resisting the North. And so they welcome us. We share their food. 6 months later, we all ran out of food. Few clothes that were given to us by UNHCR, we start selling them for food. What kind of food? One shirt with one mark of a dry corn. We all sold our clothes, remained naked, nothing to wear. The government of Sudan knew that we were back in South Sudan, and so they sent Antonov. Antonov is a Russian-made aircraft. I can still hear. If Antonov move here now, I can hear the sound. I can distinguish it. Bomb us in the morning and in the afternoon, killing some of the boys. So we decided to move to the interior part of South Sudan to a place called Kapoita. To get there, it took us about 6 months to get there. Some of us were abducted along the way, some killed. We all made it, some who survived, we made it to that place. We were attacked in that place, so we moved to another place called Nairuz at the border of Sudan and Kenya. In 1992, we were attacked from that location. So we crossed into Kenya. Well, coming to Kenya was good because the Kenyan government would not allow Sudanese troops to cross into their territories. One good about coming to Kenya was good too, because this is where they start education. This is where I start to learn A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 at the age of 17. I have never been to any school of any kind. We were very happy. Our classes were under trees. A teacher will teach you, so you kind of circle around. As the shade moves, you move with the shade. You got to secure a place in front of you, nice place. Your finger is a pencil. You sit on the dirt. We've been doing that for 3 years. But we were very happy because education was something that we consider as can replace your mom and dad. if you do not have those, because education is very important. I know here you have people sit together and study so you can help each other. That's what we did too in Africa. But ours was very different. I remember 5 of us studied together, but we can select one teacher. When you are selected today as our teacher, you're going to give us dictation. That means you will announce something and then we'll write it down. Close, fire, water, something like that. And then you collect all the exam that we did, and then you mark those. If I miss maybe 4, I get 4 wrong or 5, whatever number, then that teacher, I'll put my hand up here and then beat it with a stick. It's very painful. You know what? But I don't complain. Why? Because it will be my turn to be a teacher. When it is my turn to be a teacher, what I would say is, okay, can you write, how many English alphabet are there from A to Z? 26, right? Okay, then I would say, okay, from A to K, what is that number is K in? If you count it from A to K, it's number 11, right? It doesn't make sense why I'm giving these. And you know what? I just want to make sure there are some who are going to miss it. They're going to get 12 or going to get 9 or something like that. And then I'll line them up. And then I'll beat their hand. I feel good because I want to pay back what they did to me. You see how we force ourselves to learn. That's part of leadership. We force ourselves to learn. Until 1999, when American came, we were told, at that time I was in my 11th grade, 1999, and we were told that Americans are here, they will take you to United States. My first time to see an American, the way I look at Americans at the time, they were very tall guys with the long noses, you know. When they speak as if they're speaking through their noses. And their English was very difficult to understand, but what they were telling us is that they would take us to United States. We didn't believe them. In the year 2000, they returned. We were told that Americans are here, they start doing paperwork, they start doing medical checkup, and then taking some of the boys to Nairobi. Nairobi is a capital city of Kenya. Now, we said, this is true. We're going to go to America. And now in the camp, in the refugee camp in Kakuma, talking about America is everywhere. America is like this. America is a nice place. All were perceptions about America. Some of the guys were saying, it's okay to be lazy in America. If you are lazy in America, the American people will tie a green card on your neck. And you just go to any restaurant and show it, and they will allow you to eat for free, you know? While other boys were saying, you know, America have a better good technology. And the technology they have in the United States is everywhere, even in the restaurant. You want to eat there, there is nobody. There are no waiters and waiters. So what you get is a big table. So you go there and sit in front of that big table. On the top of the table, there are some buttons. There's chicken button, there's beef button. So if you want to eat chicken, you just push chicken button and it come rolling from nowhere. And I say, that's a country I want to go, you know? You know? And while other boys were saying, you know, guys, be very careful. You go to America, American girls are crazy. And he said, so Daniel explained it and said, do you know, and he said, all American girls, they carry small bags. And he said, do you know what is in those bags? We said, no. And he said, they have guns in it. You know? So mess up with American girls, they will shoot you, you know? So I said, the country, you know, you have this chicken button and women are killing people, what I can do? You know? Anyway, my name came out on the board and said, Johnny, you're going to Syracuse, New York. And I said, okay. I would go to America because, you know, if it is because I would stay away from American girls, you know. So I was flown to JFK and then to Syracuse, New York. And then so there were 3 of us there as I emerged out of the corridor. And then one of them came up to me and said, John, welcome to America. Hey, I think they know us because we're very black and skinny. So they knew we came from Africa. So, and they hug us. They nice people, very, very polite and nice people, really. And we hugged them too. I mean, they were nice people. But there were 4 girls there, I didn't want to go and hug those girls. I may mess them up and kill me. So, so they took us to our apartment, which took them the whole day showing us how to turn on or off light. I have never seen light before or operate it, switch it or push it or whatever it is. Took them a whole day. But before they go home, they say, John, we'll take you to show you how to buy your groceries. So we went to this giant big store. As we're coming closer to this door, and the magic door opened itself like this. I was amazed, Do you know what I was thinking? I would say, truly, the American people may be very lazy, and that's why they don't want to pull the door or push the door. But I didn't want to tell them. I thought if I tell them, they would shoot me. So we went inside this grocery store. I cannot believe that. Abundance in America. And we came upon aisle of that food and even found out that even animal owned aisles. So I could not really comprehend that a country is so wealthy that even animals have their own aisles, 3 months later, which I call our honeymoon because people have been helping us and they make sure that we are taken to, get our working papers and all of those after 3 months. So we're now on our own. That's a policy in New York that you come to America, 3 months you are helped, then after that, you can take on your job. So I started working at McDonald's. That was my first job, grilling hamburgers, doing dishes at McDonald's, and work at UPS, 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. And I was so happy because now I am not expecting a handout. I can help myself. I can help people back in the refugee camp in Africa. It was great. But then I figured out, juggling between these jobs, between 2 jobs, or among 3 jobs or so, it's not going to take me anywhere. So I decided to enroll at Onondaga Community College, finished my associate degree in 2004, transferred to Syracuse University, Maxwell School of Citizenship, and got my bachelor's degree, worked hard. And then I said, you know what? Look, I am in America. The American people have been helping me. How am I going to give back? This is when my leadership work started. Then I started with the Lost Boy Foundation of New York, raised about $35,000 for the Lost Boys in Syracuse to help them pay medical bills or buy books. I stepped down from that organization. I formed my second organization, which is called American Care for Sudan Foundation, raised about $180,000 to start building a medical clinic in my village. Then I stepped down from that organization. Then I formed John Doe Foundation, which through it I raised about $2 million to continue to build that medical clinic and support it. My fourth organization, which is South Sudan Institute, which is taking care of education, agriculture, peace and reconciliation. That clinic that I was talking about was built in 2007. We have treated over 130,000 people, mobilizing doctors in the United States here, ophthalmologists, and they did eye surgery for 600 people who were completely blind. Over 13,000 children were vaccinated for the first time. This is a medical clinic. There has never been a medical clinic built in that area since the creation, since God created the world. Over 14,000 mothers gave birth to the medical clinic. I have been very successful. Through all the other 4 organizations, I raised about $3 million to continue to support the work that I'm doing in South Sudan. Mobilizing good-hearted Americans to continue to work with me together. As the board members, as volunteers, it's been very good. I was able to bring my mother and my sister to United States, be able to get married, to actually call myself, I am a father and a dad. Been working hard. Proudly always say that I'm living American dream because of the work that I've been doing. Wrote 2 books. God grew tired of us. My wife and I co-wrote another book called Lost Boy, Lost Girl, both published by National Geographic. Some of you might have watched the documentary that was narrated by Nicole Kidman and produced by Brad Pitt. That documentary called God Grew Tired of Us, which I am in. Through that, it gave me opportunity to be meeting with people like Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, those who have been supporting my work. Now, let me ask you this question. I start talking about success. I have done this, we have done this, look at this, Am I here? Do you think am I here to show off? I don't think so. I'm not here to show off. But if you have been listening to the first part of my life story before, it was very graphic. I never knew that I would survive. I never knew that I would survive a death, being killed by wild animals. I have seen many of my brothers died because of starvation, because of thirst, because of wild animal attack, because our fellow human being attack. But I survive. The situation reduces me to drink human urine, but I'm still alive. Eating mud so that I can stay alive. Chewing grass like a cow so I can swallow juices, just an attempt to help myself. But I survived those. I survive. So why is that sometime when we are faced with a tough decision, at some point, some of you, or maybe all of you, will find themselves in a war zone? It'll be very difficult. Some will be there as leaders, don't know what to say, who to send to go and find something or go to war. Those are decisions that all leaders make every single day. Whether you are in a leadership position or no, tough time is what we always face. Unfair situation, a relationship problem, co-worker or a boss. All of the above problem, they always face us. And sometime, when some of you will come back from war, you will start feeling this, what is called mental issue or something like that. So why do we allow ourselves to be held hostage by what happened? Look at me. Wearing clothes, at some point, I was 100% naked, no clothes. I never owned anything. I never owned a belt until I came to the United States. I never owned a pair of shoes until I came to America. That is a tough life. So why is it at some point, put it in your back of your mind, that at some point you will experience, you will face a tough thing. Like me, do 2 things. The way to survive those, through the Almighty God. And that God helped me to become who I am today. I never lose any hope. I knew until I dropped dead, that's when I would say, this is it. I will never call it is it until I drop dead. That's how I think I survived that. The idea of never giving up, the idea of fighting through, although it is very tough. I fought through. This is why I accept invitation to talk to you, come here to talk to you. because the idea of never give up. You know, we would like to succeed as leaders, but success and struggle is a package. If you want to defeat an enemy, you must struggle, because defeating an enemy is a success, but it has to be together with what we call struggle. This is why I say success and struggle is a package. Sometimes people say, the reason why I'm not succeeding is because I was abused when I was a child, when I was a little boy or a girl, something like that. Yes, I agree. But do not let those hold you back. My father told me, you know, everything has an end. Even if it is as tough as what? Being surrounded by enemy, it will come to an end. Wounded, amputated, something happened in your life, or will happen in your life later, it will come to an end. And sometimes the reason as to why we succeed is because everything will come to an end if you don't give up. Maybe you give up now, maybe just only one step, it might stop, or that thing might have, might have defeated. But if you give up just only one step before, that's the problem. You know, my dad was saying, there was an hunter. A guy went to hunt. His family, his village was completely about to die because of hunger. And this man was a very good hunter. He went and hunt the whole day, could not find anything. And he was debating. He went there and sat under a tree and was debating, will he go back to the village? If he go back to the village, his family, his village they will die, because he was the only hope of that village. If he keep hunting, he's not finding anything at all. All of a sudden, a lizard fell down from the branches. And he was looking at the lizard. A lizard climbed back onto the tree and went, and he was watching it and jumped to that branch and missed it, fall down again. The lizard went back and climbed back 7 times. And this man was watching it. And it was amazing. And he said, why is it doing this? 7 times. Then he climbed back 8 times and jumped and got to that branch. And he said, I will go. He picked up his weapon and moved around. He found a gazelle. He shot it and get the gazelle, took it back to his village. He did not only save his family, but he saved his village. So sometime when you are experiencing something very difficult, try 7 times. The 8th time, you will win. Thank you very much.
Mr. Dow, thank you for your wonderful message. At this time, I would like to open the floor for a few questions, and then I will announce the last question at the end.
Sir, my name is Sam Taylor from San Diego. Just wanted to thank you, first of all, for coming to speak to us. I'm curious, before you got to Kenya, what was the source of hope for not only you, but the rest of the boys, not knowing how things would turn out? What kept you going day to day?
Mm-hmm. This is a good question. What kept me going were 2 things. One, the Bible. If you read the book of Isaiah 18, from chapter 1 to the end, it was talking about God is going to punish people of Cush, C-U-S-H, Cush, a biblical name for my country, the Republic of South Sudan. Because the way it describes it, it's a country divided into 2 by rivers. It's a country that has very dark-skinned people, very tall and skinny. You can never find these people in Ethiopia. You can never find these people in northern Sudan. You can never find these people in Uganda or Eritrea. You can only find these people in South Sudan. So we knew that this is something that God knows. We relate ourselves as if we were like children of Israel. Same journey that we were taking, we relate that. So we knew that this is going to come to an end. At the end there, if you read Isaiah 18 from chapter 1 until the end, at the end there it would say, or before the end, they said, these people, their flesh will become feed or food for the bird or animals. But God will come and say, hey, come back. We will be scattered all over the world, and then God will bring us back. So we were telling people who were giving up, don't you see here? Are you going to be missed out? This problem is going to end. And it will be enjoyed by people who would never give up. So that it was a source of our energy, our strength. Second, it's a culture. My Dinka culture, my South Sudanese culture is very strong. It's a culture of resilience. You have to be seen as someone who is there for others. You must help other people. If you become selfish, can't help someone else, you will never get married. Nobody will give you their daughter if you are a very selfish man. If you are a very weak man, very lazy man, nobody will give you their daughter. Because marriage in South Sudan is very important. And before you get married, now when you are proposing a girl, what they will do a background check. You know, they will ask young men that like you, that know you, is he lazy? Have they killed somebody before? Which means it's called tir. Have they killed somebody in their family line? Or is this man very greedy? Is this man too lazy? Is this man very selfish and so on? That is a big thing in South Sudanese culture. If you maybe show that you are a very good person, very generous, you can help each other, you are not weak, especially in your heart, not weak in the body, but have a weak mind, then it's very bad. And sometimes we compose literally, in my culture, we compose songs against people like that. Because in my culture, we do not have police. The thing that I said and the songs are kind of a police that can put you in line. We could say, Adit Pio Jaguola Kuberao da Lelua. That is a Dinka statement. Okay, you the greedy, you can just go die, and then tomorrow we're gonna get millets. You the weak one, you can just go die, continue to go and die, and then we're gonna get milk tomorrow, or we're gonna get cows tomorrow. You the weakest one, just go die, and tomorrow we're gonna be okay. So you see, we compose songs against people who have wicked mind, but I'm not suggesting that you, the Air Force here, go and do it. But that's part of my culture. These were two things that kept us going.
Sir, second class cadet O'Reilly, Squadron 38. I'm from Pennsylvania. I was wondering, I'm sure your adjustment coming to the United States was somewhat difficult in some ways. I'm wondering what was the most difficult part and how you dealt with that.
Good question. Adjusting to American culture is very difficult. It was difficult, but what really got me, something that was so very difficult, and I can tell you right now, choices. When we came to Syracuse, people from our church, they take us to church every Sunday. And after we finish service, they would take us to their home and eat with them and hang out with them. what the American people do all the time when you come there, they offer you with something to drink, right? They would say, John, what do you want to drink? That I would say, okay. At that time, I love sodas, right? But then they would say, what do you want to drink? I said, I want to drink soda. Well, they say they have 7-Up, they have Sprite, they have this, they have that, Mountain Dew, and all ginger ale, and so all the sodas, But then I would say, okay, I was trying to sort through what do I really need? All sound good, all nice, right? But then I would say, okay, but next time when I come back, I would say, because it takes me time to figure out what to choose. But then, so next time when I come back, I would say, they will ask me what to drink. So what I would say, I'm going to get ginger ale, okay? So I know that. So when they ask me, I say ginger ale, so that I give them the time, because hanging out there trying to wait for what I would say, it was a little bit embarrassed. But so that was something very difficult to adjust to. You go to any restaurant, they have this book called what? Menu, right? With a lot of pages, that page. Probably they have almost lots of chickens, a lot of beef, a lot of whatever it is. They're all food. You just eat what it is there, just only one. I mean, so it took me, even right now, I still struggle. Which one am I going to pick? They're all food, But hey, it's America. It's a learn of abundance, and so it come with that. So in my African lifestyle, that's it. Whatever your mom cooked, that's it. Everyone have to eat it. So there is no way of saying, hey, I don't want that. Now I have 4 children. And they say, oh, I need this. Someone needs macaroni and cheese. Someone needs this, that. I said, this is not a restaurant where you can put in your orders, So choices was a big problem. Yes.
Hi, I'm C3C Mary Rose Daniels. You mentioned earlier that you brought your mother and sister over from Sudan, and I was wondering how you were able to do that and make that reconnection.
When the time we got to United States, our church offered to send our letters back to Kakuma refugee camp to tell people that we are okay. We arrived in America. It is great. We're here. So I was writing to my friend Daniel. I said, America is good. Very nice people. Women are not killing people. So so that letter went to my friend in Kakuma, and then my friend traveled to Uganda, another country bordering Kenya. And within Uganda there, my family, my mother, my sister, my 2 sisters, my 2 brothers, they were there. They were in a refugee camp there in Uganda, but we didn't know each other, that they were there. And so my friend went there and talked about America and all the good things that America is doing. And he was saying that this letter was sent to me by my friend called John. So my brother was there, my older brother, he was there and said, so who is that John? So you see in Africa, you go by tribe. It's John from Duke County, it's a Dinka, and so on. Then my brother said, maybe could that be my brother or who? So that guy was invited to go to refugee camp, all the way to refugee camp in Uganda, to meet my mother and my father. And he was again interviewed. Then my older brother took my address in Syracuse, and he wrote a letter saying, if you're my brother John, know that our 3 uncles at that time, their children and their wives were killed during that attack at night. But we're doing well. The family is here and so on. But if you're not my brother, John, disregard it, So I received that letter on October 18, 2002. And then with the pictures, and I was so happy, huge celebration, and we're very happy. And so I start doing the paperwork to bring my mother and my younger sister to America. That's how I found them. That's how I brought them to United States. My mother stayed in America for 4 years, and then she said it's too cold for her, so I took her back. She is now back in South Sudan.
How are you doing, sir?
How are you?
Third class, Homer Davis. I'm actually from Syracuse, New York, and I've
Oh.
had the opportunity to hear you speak. But my question is, how has education changed your life? Helped you succeed?
Wonderful, wonderful. Education has changed my life. Look, like I said before, I had never been to any school. I started my education when I was 17 years old. Without education, I could not talk here because English is not my mother tongue. It's not my language. I speak 5, but without education, I would have never even made it to where I am today. Education is really a key to life, a key to so many things. Because of education, I can write proposals. I am able to, understand how other people operate. I learn the living style of other people from books, from other things. Education helped me to do a critical thinking. Through education, you do critical thinking. Through education, you will be mindful of other people, especially in what you call PC in the United States, political correctness, right? It's that because education gives you tolerance. You tolerate other people. Education helps you to observe constructive criticism because you relate things with what happened, what you read somewhere. Education, and of course, for those who are doctors, for those who operate airplane, it's through education. I don't do that, but education has enriched my life. If you're doing one, if you're going to school here, sometimes people say, well, I can't waste my time here. I'm not gonna get a job, Besides this is, people say, besides this is, who you know is not what you know. That's not true. Well, you must know something before who you know thing come in, There are no illiterate people employed. So you have to have those who have computer skill. I'm not here to preach that, but in me, it has helped me so much. I have been very successful because of education. Although I have an ideas, I can do this, and there is a drive in me, but still, if I didn't have education, I would be handicapped. I could not do anything that I have done already. Education is important.
Oh, hello, sir. My name is Isaac Wani from Squadron 22. I'm also from Sudan. And my question is, how could the people of Sudan, what could we do to better our country?
Thank you, brother. There are so many things. What is going on in our country right now is a lack of leadership. We have people that are running our country that never gone beyond 8th grade. Okay? So this is a big problem that we have. The people of South Sudan that are in the United States, such as you and others, we must unite regardless of our tribe. Tribal, let me tell my fellow American, tribe is a big thing in my country, in our country. We have about 64 tribes there, speak different language. We were put to believe by Arab that you are good. If you are Dinka, you are good to where you are. If you are Nuer, you are good to where you are. If you are Morale, or if you are a tribe in Equatoria, Choli, and so on, you're good to where you are. They did not allow us to. The question that I always ask is that the thing that I have been doing, been very successful in what I have done, none of those that I can point to, that I did that because I am a Dinka. Nothing. There is nothing my tribe gave me. It's my ability. And there, they said, oh, you gotta have to be Dinka, oh, you gotta have to be Bahari, or you gotta have to be Juru, or something like that. Those are nothing, The good thing to change what is going on in our country right now is to us to unite, work together, regardless of where you come from. Because being a Dinka or being a Nuer or being other group, never have done anything at all. So we are good when we are. I would also borrow a word from someone in Europe saying, now that we have, now that we have gained our independence as Italy. So the task is to now build ourselves as people of Italy, Now that we have achieved a country, we have the independent country known as the Republic of South Sudan. What is left now, we need to build South Sudanese. We have South Sudan, but we need to build South Sudanese. That's very important. With your skill that you have here, acquired in the United States, please make sure maybe when you get out or somewhere, you could have to maybe help your people. And then unity is the number one, because we can never, because the only problem that we have in South Sudan is that the only someone who helped me is my cousins. I've never been allowed to mingle with Taposa so that I can get something from a Taposa man or a Taposa woman or something like that. It can help me. We were prevented from coming together. And the only thing that we know is that a fellow Dinka is the one that can help me. That's not true. Unity, and let's build South Sudanese.
Hello, sir. My name is Second Class Brenna Leach from Cadet Squadron 27. My question is, you were thrust into a leadership position at such a young age as a teenager, almost like a father position for so many young boys. How has that changed how you've been a father, and how has that changed how you've run the organizations that you've created? And what advice would you give to us with that knowledge when we take charge of organizations in the future?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Traditionally, in South Sudan, I am number 3 of the boys, which means the last one. There are the 2 boys, and my father and my mother. If I were in South Sudan, maybe I would have been spoiled, not doing anything at all, My thing would have been taken care of by my brothers, by my mother, by my father, and other people. And I would be just mingling between here. Could not really figure out. I may be older by my age, but inside here, we still think that I'm still little because other people are taking care of things. This is why it is very important in leadership style. Leadership, yes, some people say it is a born or something, but to me, I think leadership, the better leadership we get is what we find through tough time. Let's say 2 of you will be, you'll find yourself operating something, and then somebody who's supposed to be your leader, maybe it's not there or so on, take leadership. You don't really need to be asked or given a rank to be a leader. That would never work. You take your leadership where you are, take a position of leadership anywhere, whether you just yourself, when you're eating, just you. What does leadership mean? Be able to take your garbage, like you finish eating and then throw them away. Whatever, left under whatever fall down or somebody else, pick that. If you're walking and you see somebody litter, pick that. That's leadership. That's actually help us to become who we are. Once we start it and do it by ourselves or forced by a situation, leadership, that's a kind of leadership that I think it can stick. It's very, very important. Now, in this position, I was put to become a leader of one group at the age of 12. At that time, I need help as well. But because I was given that task to do, I didn't know that I was a leader, but I was just helping my brothers. So when you help your fellow hairmen, or you call hair women too, right? When you're doing that, that is a leadership. That's what I think it's very important. I'm taking care of I'm becoming a father now. Now I'm a dad. I am learning what is called tolerance. you know. So it's very, very important. It's a really good part of leadership. It's a very important component of your leadership style, tolerance. Somebody will come say, hey, you know what, I have something here and there, and then somebody will come to that complain here and there. Those are part of very important components that can build our leadership. Do not shy away from problems. Problems build leaders. Yes.
Hello, my name is C3C Paul Emenguel. I really respect the amount of work that you've put into the organizations that you've made to help your people back in Sudan. And I think my question is that you've made tremendous efforts to build up the clinic and provide care and support to your people, like you were describing before. But I feel like the more difficult issue would be how do you think that you can help to educate the people the people there and persuade them to unite in the way that you feel is necessary to get enough for the people to be able to support themselves in the long term and become more to go back to the beautiful and happy place that you felt it was when you were younger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What I'm doing now through the John Doe Foundation and South Sudan Institute, I am encouraging, I'm not creating a classroom where I can help people understand how important it is to be one people. The way I'm doing it right now is with the clinic that I just came back 7 days ago. With the clinic, now we call a hospital, we open it up for everyone to come. The Nuer are welcome. When I say Nuer, it's the name of one tribe. The Murule are coming to the area. The Anuak are coming to the area. Anybody that can travel to come to Duke, this is where I say waging peace. A waging peace program that we are, allowed everyone to come here. I myself went to Nuer area in 2011 and 12 and picked people who were blind, who are Nuer. And I went to Murule and picked people who were blind. And went to Pochala and went to other places and picked people who were blind and brought them to Duke, to where the clinic is. And then our American doctors operate on them. First of all, when they got to the airstrip, there's a little airstrip there, my people from W came running around and say they want to see Murule. And they said, oh, Murule, they look like us, they're human beings like us. I think they thought maybe Murule have 6 head and 7 eyes or something like that. I was saying, look, we were made to believe that other people are bad and we are the best, or we are good. That's what I was trying to teach our people. It has never been tried before. Those are what I call impossibles. The impossibles are things that you refuse to do, things that you refuse to try. Those are things I call impossible. That's how I am trying to teach our people with the tolerance, coming together, share American generosity. Because the American people have been supporting us, and so I thought the big heart of America cannot only be consumed by my people, but it has to also include other people. That's a way I'm trying to teach people. And this is what we are doing today. So another way of training people is to give them something. What I asked the government, because government go and put people together, I talk to them, hey, don't kill each other, okay? Don't kill, and then disarm them, take weapon away from them. It's a good thing. But the question I asked the government is that if you go and find 2 people fighting on the street and they're beating themselves with a stick, and you go and take that stick out, then another stick, and then leave them there, don't you think these people will continue to fight? They will continue to fight, boxing or kicking and so on. Why? And you have disarmed them. Because you have not disarmed their heart. The way to disarm their heart is to have them come together and benefit on one thing, share. Teach them how to share things. Those are things that I'm doing to teach people tolerance, to teach them or maybe remind them that they are one people. They can be from that tribe, but they are one people from one nation. So that's the way I'm trying to teach them now, bringing the other different way rather than put them in a classroom and teach them. So you teach them by giving them something, by making them happy. Though the parents or relative of 600 people who were completely blind, if you talk to them right now, they are very happy. They embrace themselves. They become one people. Because if you have a blind person in your family, and then that person got eye surgery, get a sight back in the name of peace, then you embrace peace. That's another way of teaching. So those are the things I'm doing today, as trying to teach my people to be one people, to observe tolerance.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Cadet First Class Jacob Hernandez, sir, from CS27. Sir, first of all, wow, thank you for the amazing stories that you shared with us. To many of us, it's obvious that you've been successful through trials and adversity throughout your life. My question is, how have you kept yourself so humble coming from such a past? And how do you express yourself when you go back to your country and you have that interaction without coming off as superior?
Well, the reason as to why I survived, it was not because I was strong. It was not because I was cunning. It was not because I was lucky. The word lucky here is very tricky. I do not believe in lucky thing. The reason as to why I survived, I think it's because something God has, maybe you may not believe with me. You may not believe what I'm saying. But I think God has put me aside for whatever reason is. And on a daily basis, I am a sinful person, every day. But God tolerates me. When you go to war, you will go through bullets here and there and so on, but you will survive. Why? It was not because you just dug in, or not because you were wearing something that was bulletproof or something like that. But God tolerates you, So we will do the same thing to other people. And then putting myself to be big, oh, look at me, I am this, be very successful, look at me, I think everybody must bow down. I will no longer be who I am. I am nothing because I can't do anything. And I've been asking, please God, if you want me to be carpets so people can step on me, and this is what you want me to do, let it be it, You want me to be a conduit where you put things through me to support other people, help other people, let it be. I have no questions. And so how do you do those? How do you become successful? How do you survive things or tough time or accident or something like that? One of those is to try to maybe observe your humility. To put yourself down, maybe others will pick you up. And that's part of leadership as well. Somebody was telling me, there was a cruise ship was going somewhere. I think you might have heard that too. It was going somewhere. And there was a guy who was entertaining people, who were playing music. And then people were coming in and then playing, and then people were coming in, and the thing sell. It went from Europe to somewhere else, and people don't know who is really a leader here. But this entertainer kept entertaining people with a guitar singing and singing. Actually, it later turned out that guy actually is the leader, the entertainer. So that actually changed the mind of many people. Rather than showing, I am a big boss, I am this and that, humility make work done. And I know some of you who are leaders here, you understand that. When you observe humility, you bring in something out of that junior person. You help that, you raise that person, and work very hard for you. When you observe humility, let them remind you you are a leader, rather than you remind them you are their leader.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cadet 4th Class Samuel Santango. My family's also from Uganda, so yeah, East Africa.
Abarigani.
So my question is, how would you define a leader?
Well, I don't know how to define a leader. Definition of leadership, maybe I'm a wrong person to be asked. But what I know is that it's like what I just said, just the previous question, that a leader is someone who will, in most cases, initiate the direction, and then continue to show people to that direction. Or maybe let me give it you this way. Leadership or a leader is like a tree. When a tree grows, okay, every tree is meant to grow from down there all the way up. It could go as far as tall as they want. But do you know why they have branches? There are so many problems. When you see tree growing as one stem, they always start one stem, right? And then branches. And those trees don't go anywhere because that branch want to pull the tree that way. Another branch want to pull the tree the other way. Another one want to pull that tree this way. So you find some tree like this. And you can't find the tips of it. Because the leadership here was not there at all. Because the goal of a tree is to grow, to go up, right? Leader must maintain what was the original idea of you being a leader. Continue to go, the branches will follow you. Some will go there and then keep going. Then another branch will come out. In the United States, they said, do not turn your off the ball, right? Never take your eye off the ball. I think they're talking about American football, right? So you throw it, somebody have to watch it and then look at it. But what they didn't say, though, is that do not take your eyes off the ball, even if you don't see the ball. That's what I add to it, that sometime in our life as leaders, so many things cloud come between us, between you as a leader, and the ball. You can't see it. Went into the cloud. Some people turn away and say, oh, you know what? I think it's gone. This is why leaders fail. Because at some point, they will never see goal. That ball they throw or they were following, it lost because of so many other things. Keep your eye on the ball, even when you are not seeing it. So that's what I'm trying to answer your question is that what are the qualities of leader? I don't know the definition of it. But those things, that's what I know based on my experience. With the John Doe Foundation, it was kind of a cloudy, other organization cloudy, but I kept going because it did not lose its goal, its meaning. It is still there. Sometimes people say, well, new idea is good, but then when it's getting old, it's no longer good. It is still good. Is that maybe you are losing the direction of the goal that a leader is pursuing. So wherever you go, as a leader, at the US airports. It is always to keep your eye on the ball even when you're not seeing it. Those are the qualities of a leader. Thank you.